alive, up into the night. I'm still here by your side. City's glowing, I hear only air. I'll walk with you until we drop. Sunset, say goodbye to the light. I'm with you now and always will. Closing down, walk the empty street. The world goes dark and you're so still.
Hi, welcome back to the Animus. Hope you had a good weekend. Today's going to be a pretty laid back Animus experience, I think. We're still on our island vacation retreat / adventure, and I think we're just gonna. Most of it's just gonna be a chill, relax, enjoying of the atmosphere and environment. And don't worry, I didn't forget about our mukbang portion of today. Well, first, before I show you what we have, let's get to a cozy spot. you go. They fall. Oh dear. Have a nap. Take a sleep. However, this is Sacrifice Island, so Frankenstein? It's alive! It's alive! And it's not dead. It's dead. Okay. Sacrifice complete. Okay. I like our cozy spot over here. I like this spot. It's a nice spot. Great. The vibes. Okay. Today we have a light mukbang treat. We have pierogies, which are like a cheesy potato. Well, I like when it's potato and like cheese. Kind of like it's a ravioli. What's ravioli called? It's like a ravioli, but not for pasta. Something like that. Anyways, I shall now shout out. Not as warm as I want. I could probably toss them in the microwave real quick. So I've been kind of like messing around with the. You can make these crispy, or you can kind of like make them nice and soft. This one I made got a nice soft texture, a little crispy outside, and a nice cheesy potato kind of like inside. So after I eat these delicious pierogies, pierogies, I'm basically gonna just allow us to enjoy. I mean, I technically I have some viewpoints that I could go over, but I don't know. I feel like today should just be, just kind of like chill and relax. Mukbang. And then I'll come back, give us like a good 30-minute, like a 30-minute nice rest and relaxation period. Just enjoying the island sounds. And then I'm going to bring out another dish. I'll keep that a surprise. Another food item. And then, towards the end of the stream, I shall get to the next part of our email adventure in regards to a very real situation of electricity access during times of emergency. The most scary government bedtime story ever. Kids have bedtime stories that are scary. So does the government. And this is one of those stories, kids. Even though this is an adult stream, so technically you're all adults. I was just being facetious. Anyways. I like pierogies. You know what's cool about me? Instead of like being in a scary campfire, we're in a cozy tropical island. Although it is Sacrifice Island. But it is cozy. It's a cozy tropical beach setting for our scary government story. Our scary government tropical campfire story. But until then, we'd have some nice rest and relaxation for a brief period on the itinerary where you all can lay out, relax, take in the sounds, make something to eat, have some conversation amongst yourselves even. Ooh. And then I'll come back with some more mukbang. And then we'll get into emails. And then that'll be the stream for today. So, by the way, I do have something I'd like to say. Back in the day, there were these things called newspapers. And in the newspapers, they had something called a funnies section. Maybe I'm kind of doing a modern era representation of kind of like the funnies section. But I'm relating it to real life things, which they have. Political joke comedy in the funny section. They would have that in the funny section as well. Political jokes. Which is one of the great things about America, by the way. And not, this might be, today they have memes, but I don't think it's the same thing as the funny section. Because when I grew up with, they still got the Sunday paper, and I go get the paper and I take a look at the funny section and read the funnies. And I see, sometimes there'd be political jokes in there. And I kind of, and as a young kid, I actually kind of I got to understand politics a little bit through that means. So this is kind of like me growing up, kind of like seeing, comedy sketches and ads, and not just in the media form, but like in, the newspaper. And I'm kind of like, in some ways, I'm doing that in my own representation. Some of my videos. If I don't know if any of you see my Twitter promo vid. That one's kind of like funny in many different contexts. So, but they're kind of like, the funnies, So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of like something cool to relate. Because I don't want to scare the government, but I'm also an American with an American government, and they've already grown up and lived in a time where political jokes and commentary were allowed in the form of, newspaper jokes. And it's actually as simple as that sounds. How many places around the world can do that? Make jokes about your own government in the newspaper. Do you know what I mean? And I know a lot of people don't necessarily use the newspaper anymore. It's all digital stuff now. But it was one of those things. It defined American ideas. It defined American expressionism. It defined American freedom. Maybe I'm helping to represent something that was lost in the digital age. Maybe I'm part of the aspect of the newspaper that was lost in the digital world. Maybe I'm helping to represent that comedy aspect. I might not have, I might not have something that other people have, but I'm not trying to have something. I'm trying to be myself, and I'm representing, my life, and these are some of the experiences from my life. things that I grew up with. I don't know. Some people have no idea what that is, right? In the digital age, they have no idea what's the funny section. You know, although they'll Google it now. Are you Googling it? They'll be like, oh no, no, no. But you know, I lived it. You know what I mean? Every week, you waited. Just like every week, you used to wait for a TV show. Now it's all the whole season's available on stream service. So that's kind of like another element why I do these 1 hour streams. That's another reason why I like to do these kind of like 1 2 hour streams, is because I like to bring an element of that kind of like older, you know, giving the time in between each episode. You know, because you guys were doing cool, people were doing cool stuff with my art expression, and I was trying to find unique ways to, you know, to have that combination while also having my freedom. But you know, this whole 1 hour, like it's meant to like, you know, back in the day when there was a TV show on once a week, you'd wait for the TV show and you'd watch the 1 hour program, and then you'd wait a whole week for another hour, and then there'd only be so many episodes. I mean, it's an hour long with ads. It's like 45 minutes, 50 minutes, you know, with on the streaming services or whatever. But you know, I'm doing 3 episodes a week, so you kind of, there's a little bit more than average compared to what I would grow up with. But I'm also, you know, I feel like that's, you know, I think 3 days a week. I think Monday, Wednesday, Friday is a pretty good schedule that I'm going to stick to, at least in regards to my AC playthroughs. In regards to other games, you know, I've got open slots, and this is of course assuming I'm still doing this stuff. And I think I'm going to try to, regardless of what happens. Like even let's say if I become a billionaire or whatever, I think I'm still going to try to finish the playthrough at the very least. You know, because if I'm a billionaire, I can do a lot of cool billionaire things. I could be I could be playing. If I was a billionaire, I would stream the game from an island that looked like this, just for you all, and we would have these conversations. So I would find a way. All right, so let's take our relaxation moment of our program here, our ride, our journey, and I'll be back with some more mukbang food, and in a little bit. Let's see. I'll probably be back in 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Okay. Enjoy your little restful moment. All right. Okay. I'm back. Do we all have a lovely, nice relaxation? Or did we all sit there and wonder how long until my lovely presence was back? Do you feel better now that I'm back? Is there a presence? Do I bring a presence? Do I have a presence? Does my mere presence bring you enjoyment? Well, if you're of the mukbang kind, I have a lovely, lovely dessert for us tonight. I mentioned it before, but I've been trying to make plantains in a way that is like a restaurant in Los Angeles that I'm a big fan of. Versailles, they make plantains exactly how the way I like them, and I've been trying to make them just like them. I've only been able to do it once, but at the store they had ones in the freezer section, and these are kind of exactly this. This is how I want to make plantains, but so I turn it into plantains with some ice cream and even a little caramel. But here's the plantain. It is like a banana. It is not a banana. It is a different kind of banana. It looks like a banana, but it's not. And it's a different taste. And you usually fry it. And it's supposed to be kind of like nice and soft. You can see that? It's nice and soft. Now, when I've tried to make it before, it kind of, depending on how you fry it, or depending on the banana. But let's see. I haven't tasted it yet. Let's see. Very sweet. And that's what I love about these. They're very sweet. It's not like a banana. Similar kind of taste, but when you fry them, I've had fried banana before. That's good too, with coconut ice cream. It was very good, by the way. So this is vanilla ice cream. And put some caramel in some of it, not all of it. Oh my. It's like a pancake. It's like banana pancakes. It tastes like banana pancakes. Oh my gosh. I'm not even joking. That was really delicious. Oh man. That is really good. That is really, really good. So this is tonight's mukbang dessert. Fried sweet plantain with drippity drop classic vanilla and a little caramel. And of course, me. Mm. Mm. Alright, what time is it here? Let's see. So, if you weren't here last stream, I began reading emails that pertains to what many in the government would consider a scary campfire story. But this campfire story turned out to be it happened. And so I'll update us. I'll read the previous emails. So each stream that I read these, I will read previous emails so we are all caught up. So these emails are between me, and I'm sharing them because it's between me and public official. It's my private email sent to an official public, official government. So these are public it's kind of like public record, technically speaking. So I'm not like breaching anybody's privacy. These are public, government emails. These aren't classified. And if they are classified, then nobody told me. Or I didn't have to sign that NDA. So let's get caught up on the next episode of Was That Tyranny and Oppression? Previously on Was That Tyranny and Oppression? And I'm not gonna use anybody's name up to this point. I'm gonna keep that aspect kind of like low key for now. But I'm gonna refer to them as like their titles. I'm gonna refer to them as their titles, their positions. So that should be fair. To the mayor, or to mayor censored. My name is. I'm currently homeless and live with a disability. In order to keep myself safe, informed, and entertained, I've been using the electrical outlets located outside of the library not long after the coronavirus outbreak began and the library closed. I have not disrupted or interfered with anyone or anything while I've been there. I haven't had any issues with having access to the electrical outlets until the past week, and I'm unsure as to why there's been any electrical access issues in the first place, considering the city, state, and country have all been, city, state, and country, not county, country, have all been in a state of emergency due to the coronavirus outbreak. I'm also shocked that there have been issues to accessing electrical outlets, as I am someone who has a disability and is currently homeless during a period of emergency and doing so to create a safety issue for myself. Now, by the way, regarding that, homeless and having disability stuff, I agree. I probably shouldn't have been homeless in the first place due to those conditions. And believe you me, I've made complaints in relation to that. So if you think, that issue in itself, I have made complaints about as well. I've got a whole list. This is just one of the things that I think was, in the context of everything, could have been something that should, this is something that never should have, from a government from government representation, never should have happened. In my position, in my situation, regardless of the reasons why I ended up homeless, I was in a situation where I needed this resource. I really did. I needed it. And, so, anyways, since public safety is one of your top concerns and priorities, I'm requesting that access be restored to the electrical outlets as soon as possible so I may continue to stay safe and informed in a safe place. Please respond to my email confirming my request. Thank you. And by the way, information can be safety, by the way. And at that time, I didn't have a working cell phone. So I stayed connected through the Wi-Fi, and keeping my devices charged. And so, and it was coronavirus. So you'd want to be able to stay connected. You know what I mean? Even if the information that they share only comes out at certain periods of time, you want to stay connected. I mean, it's the modern day and age. You want to stay connected. I mean, it's kind of like, just living in a digital world. You want to stay connected. So I know there's people that have debates and stuff about, well, does he really need to do but it was a state of emergency. Anyways. So the next email, referencing me, Mr. Thank you for contacting me. This is the mayor responding. I am including our Council of Governments homeless coordinator, insert name, and our city staff, insert name, on this reply. Public safety is our number one concern, both your safety and the safety of others. Insert name and insert name should be able to assist you with your electrical needs and housing, should you so desire. I will have them keep me updated. Again, thank you for your email. I'm going to go ahead and read the next email for you, just so we don't have, just so you don't have to wait to get the next email. So that was the response by the mayor. It was basically, thanks for reaching out, and keep in mind I was, they knew who I was. I'm like one of the only homeless person who was in my hometown, one of the very few, and they knew who I was. So just keep in mind, thanks for contacting. I'm gonna forward you to the other people who deal with this, because they had so many things they were dealing with. My email in response was, "Dear Mayor, both insert name and insert name are individuals I have met already. Insert name has shown to be an adversary instead of an ally, and even taunted me about electricity issue this past week. Insert name has shown erratic behavior in his quest to help me, and is not somebody who I would consider helpful anymore. Unless these individuals are able to provide me with a hotel room, then there is nothing that they can do except to return the electrical outlet access to its previously usable state. I have been sheltering at, name of park I was sheltering at, for the past 6 to 7 months in a tent, and make a 2-mile walk in order to use the electricity, Wi-Fi, and safe space at the library. Insert name is responsible for allowing me to receive 4 citations at the park despite me sharing with him the ruling of Martin versus Boise." Just a quick note, Martin versus Boise is a Ninth Circuit court ruling that allows homeless individuals to sleep on public land, to sleep, rest, sit, stay, typical jog joke, right? To basically allows them to be able to be somewhere for sitting, sleeping purposes, for laying down, resting, on public land. If there's no shelter in the area, they can do, so. And this was the disagreement, Mark. I was pitching a tent at night at a park. There's no shelter in my city, so Martin versus Boise, from my interpretation, and I believe I have the correct interpretation because I won these citations, allowed me the right to pitch a tent at a park at night, because if it was during the day, Martin versus Boise wouldn't apply. During the day, you can pitch a tent. So Martin versus Boise would only have to apply at nighttime, because during the day, when the park is officially open, you don't have to work. Martin versus Boise isn't needed to pitch a tent. Pitching a tent is only the Martin versus Boise ruling for homeless people pitching a tent in public places like that, or resting and sleeping. For me, I was pitching a tent, but it's for resting, sleeping, stuff like that. For Martin versus Boise, I just lost my. I just kind of lost the. Martin versus Boise. So I was pitching a tent at a park. Martin versus Boise, from my perception, gave me the right because during the day, you don't need Martin versus Boise. It's a Ninth Circuit court ruling, so it applies mostly to the West Coast. During nighttime is when it applies, because that's when the park's closed. But Ninth Circuit court ruling overrules local municipal code. And this is where I won the argument, because they were under the impression that their local municipal code was overruling the Ninth Circuit Court for Martin versus Boise. But I understood Martin versus Boise to overrule local municipal code, at least in the Ninth Circuit District, which is in California. So I talked to this insert individual name, and I asked them, this Martin versus Boise ruling gives me the right to be at the park, and I was only at the park at night. During the day, what would happen was I was homeless. I had a tent. It was even given to me by a homeless outreach person. And I'd pitch the tent at night, and I'd sleep till I'm an afternoon person. I'm not a morning person. So I'd get there late at night, like 12 at night. I'd pitch the tent, be protected by Martin versus Boise. And then I would wake up around 10 to 12 in the afternoon, usually like 10, 11, pack up everything, and then walk to the library. And then COVID hit, and then they closed the library down. So I was, and then I left the tent up during COVID because the governor and the mayor, of California, and I wrote some paper and I put like governor or something. I wrote something down real fast, and it was definitely seemed probably silly on just from the basic look of it. But anyways. They gave an order that allowed people during COVID to shelter who were homeless. And they also had a stay-at-home order by the way, for people who are wondering, oh, what about the stay-at-home order? How could you be outside of the Well, it's actually, homeless people were exempt. So if you don't have a home, there's no stay-at-home order to home. So homeless people are actually exempt from the stay-at-home order. So, because there was actually a curfew for a while when COVID hit. I remember it now. Wow. So there was a curfew in Los Angeles when people had to actually stay inside at a certain time of night, except for homeless people. Homeless people could stay outside if they didn't have a home. So, going back to the email. I have been sheltering at Park for the past 6-7 months in a tent, make a 2-mile walk in order to use electricity, Wi-Fi, and safe space at the library. Insert name is responsible for allowing me to receive 4 citations at the park, despite me sharing with him the ruling of Martin versus Boise. And these 4 citations occurred one week after another in the middle of the morning at like 4 to 3 or 4 in the morning, same people. And I fought the citations and I won the citations, but they drew it out, and they really drew it out and drew it out. You know, they clearly were trying to waste, you know, it seemed like a waste of my time for something that they obviously knew the answer to, just to see if I wouldn't show up. Honestly, that's what I think. Anyway, so I went to this guy and I was like, look, this Martin versus Boise ruling, can you give me like a piece of paper that says don't harass me? Please, police, don't harass me. I have permission to be here. And can City Hall back me up by giving me a piece of paper that says so, permission, based on this ruling? He didn't want to do it. He said, let me confer with my lawyers first. Let me confer with the lawyers. And then when I talked to him again, he's like, yeah, the lawyers say we don't really agree with your perception of Martin. So they tested me, the citations, and then I challenged it and I won the citations. So, you know, that was just an example. The 4th citation resulted in a violation of my civil rights. On the 4th citation, I was in the tent, and these fucking cops, two same cops every single fucking time. And here's my opinion: you write the citation down, then they should have waited till the first court date showed up. They shouldn't have come back every single week trying to issue the same citation. For the 4th time, they go into my tent, they pull me out of the tent. I'd already signed 3 citations at this point for the exact same thing. They pull me out of my tent, they drag me on the ground, and then drag me on the cement. My knees and my feet are all bloody. Fire department shows up. Guys are like, well, what do you want us to do? I'm like, my knees and my feet are all bloody. You think maybe I need to go to a hospital? Like I got to tell the fire department? You know? So they take me to the hospital and clean me up before they issue me another citation. And then let me free. You know, after I'm have to sit in a fucking jail for a couple hours while they fucking, get all the booking and, all right, here's your, and then after that they stopped. No wonder, because they violated my civil rights. Literally dragged me. And, and here's the thing. Police have many, many, many different ways of picking people up and not dragging them on the ground. I was and there's pictures. They have pictures. I have pictures. They took pictures at the police station, so the police station has pictures. They took the pictures themselves. Bloodied up all my... I mean, is there a scar or anything now? If I really looked, you might be able to see a scar, but did it have any permanent damage? No, but that's not how you treat American citizens. Even if you scar me up like that, and that's the point, you shouldn't have to do that to an American citizen. That's why it's a civil... Because we don't want to live in that kind of society. Those are the barriers. We're trying to find ways not to do things like that. Do you know what I mean? Because there's going to be the argument, well, he's fine. He can walk. He doesn't have any permanent damage. It's such, in my opinion, those are really lame excuses. Because first of all, you never really know those kind of things. And infections, why take even the chance? Especially at parks, and people think, another thing with parks, by the way, y'all think it's like, you think homeless people are a dirty aspect of a park. Do you know how many bunny rabbits and coyotes and dogs and other critters poop and pee in the grass and all the things? You don't really even know it. I mean, a lot of, you know what I mean? So, but, as a homeless person, I actually kept things clean. I honestly, although the tent did kind of get like destroyed outposts sometimes, and I had to replace it at one point, or somebody helped me replace it at one point when I was leaving it out. But it was actually a good test of the tent, to see how it weathered, weather. Anyways, getting back to the email. Here we go. The fourth citation resulted in violation of civil rights. The city name is insert city name is where I grew up. It is where I went to elementary, middle, and high school. I do not plan on leaving unless I receive a housing voucher or a hotel voucher, or a hotel voucher, and I will not put myself in a situation that increases the odds of giving me coronavirus, i.e., a shelter. Now, they did have emergency shelters that were available farther away, but this was my hometown. I was from here, and this is where I felt safest in a situation where I was homeless for the first time in my life. In a city that has the highest homeless problem, in a city and state that has the biggest homeless problem. And I had actually been in the valley during my initial homelessness. I was in the valley at the first. And it was a little bit weirder experience. And people tried to I even had one time some random security guard, like the security guards and like the security card rent-a-cop people. Like one time I was just walking and the security guard just runs up to me and picks a fight. Next to an Applebee's. Okay. And even, so just weird shit. Anyways, so this city was my home. It was my safest place for me. And honestly, going to an emergency shelter, I wanted something private. I wanted my own room, my own, I didn't want an open shared thing, because coronavirus, you want to be in a more open environment. They were closing down facilities for being in closed environments. So I didn't want to take the risk. Other people might have wanted to take the risk for an emergency shelter. I wanted a more private room. And they had, they called Project Room Key, but I tried to get that at first, but it went to priority to elderly and medical, people who are seriously medically prone to the coronavirus. So I had to wait. Probably based on them fucking me over on all these different situations. It's like, wow, we fucked this guy over so many times. Let's see if we can squeeze him into that Project Room Key. Because I was in a nice place, I was in a nice room, minus the torture box experiment. I digress. Anyways, one civil rights issue at a time. Please. I got emails about that place too. Plenty of I got more emails about that place than anyways. It is starting to become more and more likely that I am being picked on and bullied by either someone at City Hall or by City Hall in general, with the electrical outlet access being one of the major pieces of evidence. I would really hate to have to report this incident to the ADA and all major news outlets in order to get the public support I need to protect myself from being discriminated for being homeless and having a disability. Again, I'm not sure what reasons you may have for trying to take away such a vital public utility, since I was never bothering anyone unless it's only about ego. I do hope the right thing is done, however, by allowing my access to the electrical outlet to continue. Please think about what exactly is being done here and to whom it is being done to. Thank you. All right, and on that bombshell, you're going to have to tune in next episode to find out what happens next. Unless you're the authorities and you really want a quick answer, in which case, here I am, you know where I am, you really do, I'm here, so feel free to knock on the door or whatever. Call me, beat me, if you want to reach me. Loose possible. Anyways, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for being with me here on my stream. Thanks so much for choosing me on the internet of all the places to be on the internet. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll be back next time. Sacrifice Island. Survivor Island for me, Sacrifice Islands for others, and for all of you lovely people, hopefully it's Survivor Island. And yeah. Anyways, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Let's get a nice little outro tune here, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, and yeah. Much love. Despite all, and honestly, I'm a raver. I still am a raver. I haven't been to a rave in years and years, but I'm still a raver, and I still love the concept of raving and peace, love, unity, respect thing. And I know I have controversial aspects of my personality, and I know that I have controversial opinions and views, but I'm also an American and I care about my country and freedom and all that. But I still love the plur mentality and the plur concept, and I try. That's what I love about the rave community is that it gives something that I really. Those are the aspects that I really loved and tried to bring into my own life. And homelessness really took a journey in that concept. But I just hope the rave community understands that, and I do plan on going back to raves one day, and so it'd be cool to see all you there when I do go. But anyways, thank you so much. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. And yeah, much love, peace, love, unity. Peace, love, unity, and respect. Have a good one. See you next time, everyone. Bye. Bye.